In this lesson, we'll take a look at how we can explore our results. Alright, so for this lesson, because of issues with getting this explore results to work after renaming project files according to the lessons, you're going to have to actually jump into test run 3 if you want to kind of follow along and try to explore these results with me. So what we'll do is I'm going to go here to explore results. I'm going to click on that and it brings up our window here. It's a very handy window. Now you'll notice it says results are out of date, and that's just because I ran this report earlier and it's a different file name, but trust me, we'll be able to do some analysis on this and you'll really gain appreciation for the structural analysis after checking this out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch this view really quick to my hidden line view, and I'm going to take a look and see what the deformation or how this model will deform according to what's going on with this loading scenario here to the left, this wind load that we actually applied to it. So I'm going to tell Revit, hey, in this analysis, I want to look at deformation, but I want to look at it under this particular load case. In this case, it was wind, and that's what we assigned here. So now I can go apply. Revit will do some thinking, and you'll notice my model actually deforms here just a little bit. So my load was only applied to this side, and it actually deformed my model to where this part actually deformed inwards due to the loading here. That's pretty powerful stuff. It's pretty neat. I actually like working with this. I was super excited when I first learned about this. But I'm going to show you another one we can actually do. If you want to get rid of that result, just deselect it, click apply, and it'll get rid of it. But let's take a look at some of the displacements here. We can go to displacement, and I know that this force here is actually moving in the X direction. So if I want to say, I want to see what's going on with the displacement in the X direction, I'll select X, I'll click apply, and you'll notice there's no deformation, but there's some coloring going on this point here. So let's see what happens if we jump to a view that's a little better than what we were working with. Well, I guess the hidden line will probably be, for our cases, probably the best view. But you can get an idea of what's going on here, because I'm going to scroll out, and what we're going to find here is a graphic that was shot all the way over here. I'm just going to hold it down and bring it up closer to my image here, or my model. But here's the graphic. This is surface displacements. So looks like there's 0 here, and it increases, the displacement increases as we go up here. Probably negative for the negative direction in which it does it. So when I look at this graphic, it totally makes sense, because at the bottom, when we looked at our deformation, it was actually fixed at the bottom, and we noticed that this wall actually kind of deformed out this way and bowed in more towards the top. And as you can tell from this graphic, it's darker here at the top, and when we compare that to what's going on here, we can see that. So it's a pretty helpful tool. This is just one way that we can actually use, or a couple of ways we can actually use this guy here. We can look for results. If my results were not out of date, you can actually look at the forces and get force diagrams, and it'll read them out just like this. It'll add color to your walls and your surfaces, and then you'll get this nice diagram here. So I highly encourage, practicing and playing around with this tool, that you, one, apply loads, do different loading scenarios. We obviously did a really simple example here, but see what the different reactions and see what the different results for your members and reactions can be within your model. So I'm going to deselect, kind of go back to where I was here. So you'll remember we created those load cases and load combinations. So those are actually located in here. So we have our temporary load here that we had. We also had our combination. So we could run a report on that as well. We'll see if that has a deformation report. Yeah, we see some slight deformation according to that loading combination that we set. You can see some bowing here on the bottom, and it kicks back out here on top. So now you can see the purpose for, one, creating your load combinations, but also creating your load cases, because now you can actually see what happens with this combination and how my model is going to react according to the structure. And even I can take a simple, temporary load case like this one and apply it as well. So that's using analyzing the results and exploring the results. And that's going to actually conclude our course for working with the structural analysis tool in Revit. So basically, to kind of recap what we learned, We started from the beginning where we took in a model that was created in the architectural template. We learned how to link it. We learned how to copy and monitor, and we also learned how to tackle any kind of warning signs or warning messages you might get along the way when you are linking and copy monitoring models from different disciplines. We also learned how to create some load combinations, load cases. We applied loads. We're able to kind of see the difference between our physical model and our analytical model. We're also able to run some verification checks. And then finally, we did some problem solving when we ran into some error messages as far as how to create supports for areas that don't have support. And we also learned how to apply material with physical properties in case we do get that warning. So I'm excited to be able to show you this. This is a really simple tool within Revit, but it's really helpful, and it's going to guide you in your preliminary process when it comes to making decisions. So I'm excited to be able to show you this. I hope you learned something, and I hope you're excited as I was when I learned about this. And I look forward to working with you in future Revit courses.